Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TY Hub Let's Talk podcast. We're live today. It's our very last one for TY 2023-24. I know that you're all very excited for the next couple of weeks because you're doing your graduation. So congratulations on all your achievements this year. It's been an absolute mega year. I've heard fantastic stories from loads of TYs, from TY students to parents, and God, teachers, you really knocked it out of the park this year. So you only set a kind of mediocre par for next year. So, but today, to finish off the year, I don't think we could have asked for an even better guest than we have today. We have the wonderful Kim Mackenzie-Doyle from The Big Idea, but that's not all Kim has been up to. So welcome, Kim. Thank you so much for coming on today, and look forward to chatting away to you.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I mean, like, The Big Idea is fantastic. It's something that has grabbed a lot of minds. It's a mentorship type of program, isn't it?
Yeah, so what we try to do is help young people get ahead of the problems our generation has basically given them. Young people are inheriting the biggest challenges the world has ever faced, and we try and get them ready with the mindset and the skills and bridge that gap between industry and education and give them everything they need to feel confident and empowered to really tackle those challenges. So it's a 25-week or workshop program, and it's completely free, and students get all of the materials, and teachers facilitate the programs. So you learn amazing skills with the help of your teacher and mentors from across the country. So it's an incredible program, and we're just going into our 5th year in September.
Congratulations on that one. That's an amazing achievement. 5 years running, and you've switched it up this year. You've gone from starting in the program in January to now starting in September. So the registrations are open at the moment, are they?
Absolutely. I think we've got more than 1,000 students registered so far. Fantastic. And the program that's just finished had 4,000. So we're obviously trying to beat that and raise money, obviously, to keep it free for everybody involved. So we have a start date in September. So it's typically 2 workshops a week, but a lot of schools really prefer that kind of 1 workshop a week, so we can build those kind of skills in maybe a little bit more accessible way. Because TY is a busy space, and there's lots of trips and amazing things that happen, and it just really fits in really well with kind of the curriculum and the schedule as well that teachers and young people are kind of living through TY.
I mean, TY is a fantastic year to try out different bits and bobs and new careers, and especially entrepreneurship. To nurture that is a new thing as well. Well, relatively new. There's a few of us long in the tooth now doing it. You fail better, you come back and you succeed. And like, there's so many quotes out there that I remember, but back a few years ago, everything wasn't so technical and instant and there. So explain to us how, I mean, like, you've had an amazing career yourself, Kim. So how did you come about The Big Idea?
Well, I guess getting back to the origin of it and my school experience, I was not an academically focused young person or child. And when I was 3, I suffered a really bad burn, and my parents were given a choice of either, skin graft, which could restrict movement of my head, or to tie me to a cot for 3 months in hopes that the wound would kind of really heal naturally. So they tied me to the cot for 3 months. It was kind of 40 odd years ago. So it's a lot different now, thank goodness. But in those kind of three months, I regressed my speech. I missed all my milestones, and I actually probably changed my temperament. So when I was untied, I was like an absolute wildling. I was like little Tasmanian devil running around the place. You could not get me to sit down for love nor money. So school was super challenging for me. So imagine putting that type of a child in a room and expect them to sit down and actually absorb information. All I wanted to do was run and climb and, get out. So I remember getting into second level, and the guidance counselor jokingly told me to marry well because they were like, oh,
that's a nice way of putting something that's so nice.
No hope for her. So anyway, I defied expectations and I went to college, and I actually really liked science. So I studied science for 3 months. And then understood that you also had to study physics and chemistry as well as biology. And that didn't go down too well in my brain. So I actually dropped out and worked 3 jobs and quickly understood what I did not want to do in life, which is actually really, really important as well, is to kind of experience a lot of things and find out what you don't like as much as what you do like. So then I found industrial design, and I was always very good at art and making and breaking and building and fixing. And I remember, well, a lot of people won't understand this now, but when we first got a remote control, I broke it because I couldn't understand.
You wanted to see what it was like on the inside.
Destroyed it to have a look inside. So, that's reverse engineering now in a very polite way. But I basically broke it. And so I really, really like to understand how things works. So I went into industrial design, which is basically designed for mass manufacture, and designed a lot of consumer products. So I got into a company in Dublin, or in Bray. It's like Border, Wicklow, there's controversy there. And I absolutely lived a dream. It was my perfect career. And I grew up in design and traveled the world. And I designed the world's best-selling computer mouse, corded and cordless, and cameras and keyboards and mice, you name it. And it was an amazing experience. And I really, really understand the power of thinking and solving problems and actually building something that can affect a whole lot of people positively. So, but we were doing it commercially. So we were making a lot of people an awful lot of money. And in my formative years, I kind of really understood that it doesn't matter what kind of background you got or what kind of results you got, even though, school is really important. This way of thinking just made me better, and it made me more confident. Even with all of my struggles in my early years, I could really tackle anything. And no matter what I put my mind to, this set of problem solving skills, it could really benefit anyone. So I also became president of the Institute of Designers Ireland, and I really built my network and just kind of was like, right, okay, there's enough money in the world. We need to figure out the world. So the big idea came about, and I think, you become a mother and your kids, and you understand the power and the importance of teachers as well, that they have shaping young people's futures. And I just knew that there was this amazing knowledge in industry and these incredible teachers that are helping young people through the most kind of important years of their life. And can we bring them together? So this is the big idea. So we built kind of workshops, and they're problem solving, critical thinking. We have a whole workshop on flirting, which is my favorite workshop. It's like learning through failure. You mentioned it.
Okay, that's a new word. Look, do you know what? There's another thing, isn't it? If you don't learn something new every day,
exactly. Every day is a learning day.
There you go. Learning. That's
learning. Exactly.
Definitely going to use that one.
But it's one of the most important workshops, because there is no success in life without a bit of failure. You have to trip up to run faster. You just have to learn what your extent is. We really try and make young people a little bit uncomfortable so that they get comfortable in pushing themselves so that they can learn more. And that's the growth space, is where you kind of push yourself a little bit to learn from other people, other experiences, and really expand kind of horizons.
So you started the big idea just before the big C hit, just like ourselves. I mean, like it was the worst, best possible time on the planet. So many good things came from it, from all the lockdowns. You never want to hear that word again. I mean, like it's crazy. But students that are now in TY, would have been finishing up in primary school and going into the next level. And they would have been at home. They wouldn't have really met everybody. There was a lot of mixing. And for adults as well, I mean, I still meet people that go, I really don't want to go back into the office. I like my zone. Working with other people, being teamwork and all that we would have grown up with. And you kicked out at 9 o'clock in the morning, you come home when the dinner's ready, that all changed in the last few years, especially with tech rising. That famous saying as well, I'm pretty sure most parents have used it. You won't achieve anything by playing the Xbox or the PlayStation or whatever. And there are careers in that now. So it's a whole new generation of minds. So you're inspiring the future and telling them it's okay to fail. That's amazing, because they're constantly trying to achieve. They've just finished in TY, they've just finished one exam. They're already thinking about going on and doing their leaving cert. What will they do afterwards? It really is the time to take a pause. And we are unique. I mean, Ireland is very unique in that sense, that we have this opportunity for students that they can take this year mid secondary school, grow, develop, and learn, and try out so many different things. And like you said, they're going on fun trips. They've got workshops going on. They're learning new skills, all of the time. But it's only when you become a parent yourself, or you've worked with young people, that you see how they develop and what's out there and what's not out there. Teachers look after 900 students a week, a day. It is insane how many teachers there are. What they have only got a limit of what they can do. And if there's projects and programs out there that can help them build these minds of the future, it's amazing. So when you started it 5 years ago, you did it from January to May, and now it's from September right through. Well, it will be from September right through to May. So when the teachers get their hands on this program, do the mentors go into the schools, or do the teachers develop these, work with the development?
Because we're building for scale, we want every young person in Ireland to experience big ideas. So we do want 400,000 students a year going through the big idea. And we've built the EdTech platform that basically enables teachers to deliver all the programs. And then mentors actually sign up online, and at particular stages in the program, students upload their ideas at an early stage. So they form in groups, they work collaboratively on the biggest challenge that they're worried about. So this year it was mental health was by far the biggest. And you turn on the news, climate change, AI for humanity, cost of living, and diversity and inclusion. So these are all the top subjects that, or the top challenges that young people are worried about, which is really disheartening. Yeah. So what we do through those 25 workshops is give them a thinking approach to take on these challenges, really build a deeper understanding. And then they communicate that to mentors at an early stage. And mentors give them feedback and advice and share knowledge. And it's all digital so that we can build for scale. So we had just under 300 mentors this year involved, and they would work with 3 to 5 teams. And then students we have a whole workshop on feedback. So how to take feedback and apply it to your work. And then
nobody likes feedback. Nobody does. I don't think there's one adult that I've ever met that can honestly say that they like feedback. So that's amazing.
And it's kind of utilizing it. It's not personal. This is in benefit for your work and your achievements and everything. So it is, we have to kind of reframe it. And I think that's what we do an awful lot in the big idea, is reframe the thinking towards hard things and make it really approachable and fun as well. So then the students develop out their projects, and then they send them back to mentors, and mentors get to see how obviously their advice and support has kind of hopefully supported students to kind of really level up. Because once students get that feedback from somebody outside their circle, they just really level up. It's phenomenal to kind of see it. And then they refer to their mentors in the first name and say like, oh, David told me this. And, you know, and
he could be CEO of like a multi-billion euro.
CEOs like to, you know, graduates employees. Yeah, yeah. It's phenomenal.
It's good for them to get comfortable as well. What is the end result for the program? So obviously you're building up, you're creating a workforce really that is capable of going out and being mentally and physically capable of achieving and recognizing failures and recognizing that, you know, if something doesn't go to plan B, try something else out. Absolutely. So at the end of the program, is it connected to, like, you know, if they were going to do, I mean, they could use these skills then, I suppose, really, I think I should reword that one. They could use the skills for their mini companies and Gashka projects and different things to help level them up for projects within the school, is it?
Absolutely. So actually in any direction these young people go, because now there's so many alternate pathways. It's not just college. There's apprenticeships. There's, you know, start your own company straight from school. There is so many opportunities for young people now. It's phenomenal. But there's some crazy stat that I know 65% of jobs haven't been created yet for the children entering school, and that for 11-year-olds, 85% of jobs don't exist.
Wow.
So what we're educating now really matters. We have to have that future mindset ready. And it's about making better decisions, making better choices, understanding the impact of those decisions, not only on yourself, but for other people and planet. Because whatever we do now will impact the next 20, 30, 100 years. And we
can't keep blaming the hairspray of the 80s.
And that's the other thing. I was like, we have a responsibility to give young people a leg up, because we've, you know, just the news is just a scary place.
Yeah.
And we can change it. It is solvable, but we have to have that problem solving mindset to, you know, approach it. And that's what we're really trying to do.
Yeah, I actually only had a conversation with someone the other week, and it was how scary the internet is, really, and that us adults built it. But for anyone that's on the internet, like kids are on the internet all the time. They've got instant access to knowledge that maybe they shouldn't have in the first place. They don't know how to use it correctly. There are workshops out there that will help parents and students, but at the end of the day, you're not on top of your child all of the time. And the children do need to take responsibility of what's out there. I mean, like, I remember a platform when it came out first called Bebo. Do you remember that? And like, that was insane. It was like your first like social media platform, and you put everything up there, or, you know, your photos of, thank God there weren't camera phones out when we went out, but you put photos up and you would say, oh, it was out last weekend and all that kind of stuff. That platform shut down and you've no access to that, but that information's still there in the world of the web, somewhere buried away. So, you know, it's learning responsibility from a young age is incredibly strange to talk about, really, when like we were free enough, I suppose, but we always said, oh, we won't be so strict with our kids. But the internet came along that we developed as adults. Like, you know, we've all been part of this new era, but never taught about the kids. And to, you know, for them to learn how to work a program on and what to put out there. Like, bullying follows you home now. So if there's, and I know there's a lot out there, but a kid that's getting bullied online, or even not even bullied, but say you put something out there online and it's an idea or it's your opinion, and somebody else comes back with the feedback. Their opinion is different to yours. They're not able to mentally compartmentalize that and process that to, develop and move on from that. It sticks in their mind. Like I said, it's not necessarily bullying, but how this is all going about, and it's very fast and it's very quick paced, and how do the teachers, how do the parents, how do the adults cope
Absolutely.
with this? But I said, do you know what, I actually think that it's this generation that's in TY 5th and 6th year, they're the ones that are going to make those changes. If they're guided the right way, they will make the changes, and they will make the internet, instead of banning it from a country, they might develop it in a different way that it's going to suit other people and protect people as well.
And the internet as we know it now might not actually exist next year.
Yeah.
Like, the acceleration of change is phenomenal at the moment. The integration of AI into lots of things. I don't want to kind of freak people out and say the robots are coming. The robots are coming.
Like, just don't go watch the Terminator. You're right.
Oh my God. But it's all about how we approach that and how we utilize that, and having kind of empathy around all of these challenges. And that's how we will be different, and how we succeed is how our approach to things, and how the resilience that we build. The resilience is a massive thing about the big idea we're trying to build is, what happens when we meet a wall? How do we go over it, under it, around it? It's those challenges and then moving on. And that's relevant for technology. It's relevant for human interaction. It's relevant for absolutely everything. So these are skills that, yes, they're amazing for your career in any direction, but also in our interpersonal skills, because that's something that the internet and social media and our phones now are affecting. Because you see, teenagers walk down the street, and
we do it as well as adults. It's not just teenagers. Like, taking the phone away at the dinner table is like tearing a limb away, isn't it? It's like, have a box for I remember catching one of mine last night, and he sat down, but put the dinner down on the table and went off. And I said, "Where are you going?" He goes, "Get my phone." I said, "No, you're not." And it's that, they're not thinking. It's like, but having your phone there all of the time is not good for your mental health. It's not good for your diet. Like, your eating habits change. Access to the internet blocks you as well as enlightens you. It's a very
it is. And how we kind of navigate that world, because we're all now digitally native. And are we digitally first, or like, how do we actually develop everything that we're doing in a really, really healthy way? Because the technology has its own impact on everything, and as you said, mental health, but also on the planet with all the data centers.
Yes,
and like that's having. So it can only grow so much, and then how do we turn it so it actually works more for us and in benefit for us? Because there is, technology has been phenomenal for everyone, and it's not a wholly bad thing, but it's a dark side to everything.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, like, compared to 20 years ago, I mean, like, I don't remember computers being as big as a house, but computers started off being as big as a house. Like, that was the brain behind it. Now we have these massive warehouses that are data centers. We have them all across Ireland as well. So they're everywhere. The social responsibility that companies are now taking comes from the newer generation kind of saying, "Hey, oi, big fella, do you know what you're doing to the environment? Do you know, is there a way of isn't the data center in Tala providing hot water for the community, the direct community around it?" It's something like that. But that's like a social responsibility to turn something negative into something positive.
Absolutely. And I think we in Ireland, we're a little bit behind the curve in I guess company responsibility. In the UK, I think when you develop a company, you're actually mandated to put like 10% of your profits into the social economy or the local economy. So you see that much more and more. And obviously our partners keep the program free. So we're able to deliver and build the technology that actually gets this methodology out to schools and young people to try and move the dial for them. So we are seeing, incredible, really progressive companies give back. And, and obviously if there's any more out there that wants to support the big idea, I'd be more than glad to talk to you.
On. No, but it is, it's fantastic to merge and to connect the dots. TY Hub is all about connecting the dots, and that's something that I've been very passionate about personally myself, getting the information to the younger people, helping them make decisions. But with a big idea, you're getting ideas and challenges, or challenges that the kids see that we wouldn't necessarily see as being issues. But they're also working through, so throughout the year, they're going to be working on problem solving those challenges. Exactly. And that can have a huge impact then on next year for the businesses and companies out there. So absolutely, while these mentors are giving up their time and their energy to help mentor the problem solving and the ideas and everything like that with the students, they're gaining from this as well. So
absolutely, they're investing in the next generation and their future colleagues, because they have to have that ability to actually solve company problems and make things better. But also, how do we work together? Because it's the different perspectives add incredible value. So, young people from all of these different backgrounds, and we have LCA and we've youth reach programs, and we now have the program available in Northern Ireland.
Oh, fantastic.
We have 3 schools up there, so we're hoping to double that now for next year. But it's about, different backgrounds coming together, different perspectives, and then, it absolutely flies. So this is the part that's so important in collaboration. People for the first time are working together. Yeah. School's very singular. You have to singularly achieve an outcome. Whereas in our working world, in communities, we have to connect with each other and understand people and their challenges and their problems to make anything happen. So they're core critical skills. And I think it's one of the wonderful ways that we're building kind of a community together with mentors as well. So you get that lovely kind of intergenerational knowledge sharing.
But
it just really lifts everybody up.
The older generation is learning from the newer generation, and the new generation is learning from the old generation, which is an old story. It's, but it's good to see it working again. I think there was a period of time where it was like stalemate. And nobody knew which way to go. These young people are going to college. College isn't for everybody. And even when you did it yourself, when you go to college and you realize that when you're in college that this is not for you. People have gone through college and come out the other side and going into the career path that they thought that is why they went and did the college degree in the first place, and this is where they want to be, and they go, hey, hang on a second, this is not what I want to do. To have that skill to be given that skill during TY LCA, like your senior years of secondary school, is amazing to have, to turn around and say, okay, well, this is not really what I wanted, but I can change that to suit me, because I wasn't academic really either. I have 5 languages, arts, crafts, you name it. I love planning, I love working with people, but I put a book in front of me, I'll fall asleep. I'm not, I'm like, what are these words? I'm a practical person. Put me into a practical environment, I will pick it up and I will learn it. Back when I was in school, that wasn't really a good thing to have. It was very academic. So you can see the changes within the schools. And obviously the teachers that are now coming into schools are us. They're the ones that have thought that as well, but like you were like, oh, I'm not going to be a teacher, because like that's too much study. Here we are helping students out in a different way without being a teacher and going down the academic route. But when the apprenticeships started, and they are now, like, you're learning from people that have been practically working these all of the time. But when you finish your apprenticeship, you could turn around after 4 or 5 years and go, "No, this is not for me." But it's
Yeah.
okay to change. It's okay to redevelop. I did a 9 to 5 kind of job at the start. I was in the call center for a courier company, an international courier company, where there was languages being spoken everywhere, and this little Irish person sitting there speaking Dutch, which was really weird, but it was an eye opener. I definitely didn't want to go back to a call center. But I loved the atmosphere. I loved working with people. That then I've done other things over the years. I've done events. I've been arts, and like I said, arts and crafts. I've had fashion designs all over the world, shoes and dresses and stuff. And then I came back and I was like, I want to create a job for me that I'm comfortable in doing. I still haven't a clue what I want to do at the end of the day, but this is where I am. And I've used my skills that I've learned the hard way. Like, I've took the windy road, and the amount of people that I know that take the windy roads, it's not straightforward.
That's it. And I think, we do young people almost a misservice saying that, you've a career path.
Yeah.
And no, mine is like all over the place. And then there's like things, bombs that drop on you. And then it's just how you figure it out and how you navigate it.
How you cope.
Absolutely. And that's the difference.
The break in anything, like if, like I said, like something negative happens, you're like, I can't cope with this. Yeah. We can't cope with this. The students nowadays are different than we were thrown out on the streets and said, yeah, come back home for dinner. They're now sitting on tech. I think I would like to do the opposite to grounding, whereas, like, take the tech off them and throw them out of the house if they did something. I think that's a new thing. I think that's something that we need to redevelop. Like, instead of saying, "Oh, we're going to take your phone away, but you can stay in your room," no, get out of the house. That's like, it's the opposite. You were terrified to be told that you were going to be grounded because you came home late or whatever. I'm like, get out, go. But it is. They've developed totally different to the way we have. Our parents were totally different to the way we are as well. So it's always learning and it's always changing, but it's really good to see yourself. I mean, like, you came up with a fantastic idea, the big idea to, from your own experiences, right from when you were a tiny little tot to, how you developed in school. But it didn't hold you back, Kim, at all.
No, and I think it's one of the things, I think, just in my own personal mindset is like I had resilience. I was, I'm probably the resilience of a rhino, to be honest. I will just keep hitting stuff until I figure it out. But it's a fearlessness, whereas, like, I know because of all of my experiences, everything I've learned, that I'll figure it out, and that's, if we all had that in a really positive way, we'd be living in a different country. Can you imagine having like the ability to kind of know you're going to figure it out? You're going to be able to make things better from just kind of going through. And it's not rocket science. No. It's just a process. So, understand the problem, actually learn about the people behind the problem, look at the opportunities around it. What can be actually created, what can't be, because some things won't work, but you'll figure out something that will, and then moving forward. So it's really, really exciting kind of mindset to be in. And we're really looking forward to working with kind of new students from absolutely every background. So that's what makes it.
But it's also not. So you mentioned I made a total wrong assumption. It's not just for TY. It's LCA, Youth Reach. I assume LCVP would be in there as well. Then, so senior cycle students.
Yep.
I mean, youth reach is amazing as well. It is definitely, you know, instead of dropping out of school, you've got another avenue to learn. You know, it has stopped the drop it rate immensely. I can't remember. I've seen the figures recently, and like it's amazing. And what the youth reach workers do then with the students, like they're speaking to them as adults, but knowing that they're students as well. So they're learning constantly. It's almost like they finish their academics and go into an apprenticeship for everything. Isn't it?
It's a wonderful opportunity, and I know the tutors that work with students are doing a phenomenal job, because it can be a myriad of reasons students need to go into youth reach. And it's phenomenal that they're going through it, because they're learning in a different way and at a different pace that kind of suits them and gets them through. And we had a beautiful project by a youth reach, Kilkenny Youth Group, actually, our Youth Reach Centre, and it was a financial management tool for young people to not only learn how to spend their money, but also to save. Like, and I was like, I need that, you know.
Definitely. What's that? Save?
Just a beautiful project, but the research that they put in to actually understand the challenges around spending, and then how to get a mortgage, and actually make that the kind of real for young people to know you need to start saving now. And
you remember? Oh my God, I remember going through the bank and getting all these papers thrown at you, and you're like, I don't even know what half this means.
So overwhelming.
It's amazing.
And just to reframe the language and the terminology around it, and actually make it super approachable, so that it almost demystifies any of the fear around, you know, finances. Because even the word finances, you're like, oh, yeah. So they actually won a national award judged by the mentors, and then they, you know, it just, yeah, so it's phenomenal. So that was just last Friday.
Fantastic. So you have the program going from September to May, and then is it the start of May then, I assume, is it?
We have a big showcase where we award the best high potential ideas. So mentors across the country get all of the projects back, and it's not that we want to grade them, it's just kind of identifying the best ideas. So and we give them trophies, and just kind of, you know, have a celebration, and we exhibit all of the projects on our website. So if anybody wants to kind of check out the winning projects, or the standard of projects this year was the best by far. It was phenomenal. Like every year, they're always amazing, but it was just some very special and very meaningful projects. So you can check them out on thebigidea.ie. Drop the website in.
I'll put everything down. Yeah, so I know we're live at the minute, but when it goes up, I'll have a lovely description. I'll have all the links and photos and everything, because you've sent me some amazing photos as well of last year's winners. So I can't wait to see this year's winners.
They're great. And the registration is open at the moment.
Acknowledgement of their achievement throughout the year as well. That's you know, whether they've won or not, the acknowledgement of an achievement, because they've achieved something. They've achieved being part of a project, being part of a program for a whole entire year. So
absolutely, you know, everybody, 100% of our students learn something new. So and there's a huge increase in confidence. So it's just, and it helps them level up for that kind of those leaving cert years as well, because that can be really stressful. But understanding any challenge and knowing how to approach it, it's always next level, because it removes the fear or the anxiety around and the stresses around anything kind of big. So you learn to break it down and move forward.
What's their next big challenge? Is going to be their leaving cert after this.
Yeah,
that's you know, having those skills to deal with stress and knowing how to problem solve. If you don't know the answer to the question, go back to it. Go on to the next one. Don't stress about it. Go back to it. You know, and that is a problem solving thing. It's not, when you're in the moment, you don't think of it. But most of us have never had that either, you know, whereas somebody has taught us how to achieve those skills. It has taken many, many years to say it's okay to fail.
And to be honest, my mother-in-law has this amazing saying was, what's for you won't go by you.
Pass you.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother-in-law said the exact same thing.
There is an alternative route. So if you don't get your dream course or your dream job, there is a way to it, and you will find it. You just need to keep going, and it's all about those small movements forward to get you there. And anybody,
I actually know somebody. One of my best friends from school wanted to go into nursing, but didn't have the academics to do it at the start. So she started off as a nurse's aide, or is that what they're called? The helpers, carers. She was a care assistant in the hospital. She was there for a few years. The hospital approached her, asked her, did she want to go through their program to become a nurse? She is now head of nursing down in Cork. She's after getting a master's. No, yeah, master's in something to do with nursing, and that's, that is an alternative route. She didn't go the direct route into Trinity or Galway or Sligo, anywhere like that for nursing. She went the long way, but she has learned so much along that route as well.
It's probably a better route for her as her to actually level up probably faster, to be honest. So
yeah,
it's just about getting through it and taking the opportunities, or making the opportunities for yourself by, making it happen.
Yeah. What piece of advice would you give somebody now? Again, TY, LCA, senior cycle students. It's amazing that we have Northern Ireland now as well. Actually, that's great. Inclusivity.
That's it. Because I think part of our goals is having an All Ireland program. But I think it's to try and approach everything with an open mind. And I have daughters as well, so I'm trying to kind of think about what I'd say to myself at that age and what I'd say to them. But there's nothing actually really massive. You can break it down and then take, each bite as it comes, or, take each step, because once you break it down, it's not that big.
Yeah.
And try and remove the emotion from it, because I think we can very easily imagine, not even all the challenges that young people are going through, all the hormones that are hitting them at the same time. So it's just break it down and, take a calm, positive approach, and you will get through anything.
Is there anything you would change about your path?
I think there's yes and no, because everything's kind of brought me here. So in one way, I wouldn't change a thing. But other ways, I think I would have probably pushed myself harder at an earlier stage, where I probably didn't have the confidence when I was younger to kind of try and, either get a raise or get a promotion, or, do all of those things that in hindsight, you should have done. But I think I would just back myself maybe a little bit more at an earlier stage. That would be probably the only thing I'd change. But I've no problem.
Find your self-worth and
trust yourself a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely.
You've achieved so much, Kim. From the mouse and the wireless mouse and the wired mouse to the big idea. That's making it tiny. That's making it sound like it's tiny, but it's not. You've seen something there that will help students or minds of the future. So instead of just saying, oh, this is what the future is going to do, you're inspiring the next generation to come up with the next type of wireless mouse. God only knows how that's going to work out, but
we're really hoping that we inspire someone to solve climate change. That's the big idea.
Yeah. It is. That is the massive challenge at the moment. It's on everybody's mind. The new recycle system that we have in the country, or from the home to the business, and we can only do so much at home in the schools. Have your own personal responsibility for your eco environment around you, but let's inspire them to come up with huge ideas. The Lidl in Kildare, in Newbridge, the warehouse there. Have you ever visited?
No, I've heard it's massive.
It's massive, but they are solar, they are reusing water, they have a massive recycle thing there, they have a pumpkin patch, they have a little farm beside it. So, like, it's seen from Wyatt, which is right beside it, an Oral-B, to this massive, like, eco farm, but it's an industrial building. It's amazing to see that, and it'd be great to see that around other massive companies. There's a whole farm of data centers not too far outside of Dublin either. So it'd be fantastic to see some kind of eco environment challenges being met there.
And I think it's every level, though, in society. We need to treat each other better.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on recently, and I don't want to get into it, but it's just it's not a reflection of our young people or our country. So we have to treat each other better. We have to approach the big problems and not sit back and expect somebody else to.
Yeah.
Because we all have the capacity to make a positive change in every area of our life and be better for it. Because helping other people, it actually makes you feel better psychologically. So it's those little things, and we can work that into every day. Ireland will be the best country in the universe.
Definitely. It's a great little island with the sunshine, especially. No dull days at the moment, hopefully. But let's work together. I can't wait to see what the big idea is going to produce this year. It's been an amazing 23-24 TY, and I wish you all the success next year. Do come back. Will you come back?
Of course, anytime.
Have another chat. Let's see what little eco warriors can turn into fantastic big ideas. I really can't wait. So you've already had phenomenal numbers. So let's when is the date that they have to register by?
So registration's open now. So so teachers can register, and then we just make sure that they have the time to kind of facilitate the program, and then they're in. It's completely free for teachers, parents, and students. But I get in soon because we do have a capacity based on funding. So we're always trying to raise funds to increase our numbers.
Faculty's listening that would like to add to the funding. It would be amazing.
It would be exactly.
Keep inspiring those bright minds and bringing the next level. I really am looking forward to seeing the financial one that they worked on in the outreach. That sounds like we all need it. We all need it, exactly. But thanks so much for joining me today, Kim, and everyone. And we have a fantastic summer and a fantastic end to the academic year. Be prepared, have fun, and go forth and make changes.
That's it.
Thanks so much. See you all again soon. I'll have it all up on TY Hub fairly shortly with descriptions and links for everything that we just spoke about. Thanks a lot, guys. See you again. Bye, Kim. A minute.